everybody, welcome back to the next part in my dialing in series for our Line 6 Helix. And actually this one is also going to be for our HX Stomp because the preset happened to be that few blocks that I could actually fit it into the HX Stomp as well. Some of you guys who watch my channel probably saw the performance video I put up a couple days ago. And it was for the Keith Urban song, You Look Good in My Shirt, one of his old classic hit songs. From a number of years ago now. I'm not sure exactly when that came out, but I've always been a big fan of Keith's production on his albums, and his guitar tones are always killer. If you'll notice, actually I just got this Telly, really nice. Yes, before anybody asks, I'm still using Yamaha guitars exclusively, except for this country stuff. I don't have anything that's really Telly-like. I guess I could do it on the Variax, but I'll also play this preset through a couple of the Yamaha guitars so you can kind of hear what they sound like with this in a non-Telly setting. But for this, since it was country, I figured I would go with that. So I put that performance video up the other day, and then I immediately had somebody request that I do another Keith Urban solo, which was a song, another hit of his, Somebody Like You. So I did that as well. So the rare occurrence this time, I'm gonna have two performance videos up. I dialed this tone in, kind of trying to get it closer to the You Look Good in My Shirt tone. But it translated really nicely. I used a Mexican Telly on that one, and for the Somebody Like You, I used this, which is the new Fender American Elite, which is a really, really nice guitar. Plays beautifully. It's got noiseless pickups, maybe a little hotter output, but it worked really well. So in the performance videos, what you're going to hear is I found backing tracks which had vocals, drums, bass, and keys. If there were keys on them, actually, don't quote me on that. And it was lacking all the guitars, so I was able to use the Yamaha Silent guitars. You can kind of see a little bit of it hanging around the corner there, to put some nice acoustic on them. And then I just used the Tellys with this preset untouched in the mix, so you can hear what this preset will sound like not only on the solos but also on the rhythm guitar. So that's what you're hearing in both of those Keith Urban performance videos I did, okay? So yeah, Urban's tone is amazing. He always plays just the right solo for the song, and you know, it just works really well. So let's go over to HX Edit and take a look at what I did. Okay, so I set up a couple snapshots here. This isn't going to be in the custom tone download. I just did this for comparison purposes. The amp I chose was the Matchstick Channel 2. I had used this amp model a whole bunch way back when I first got my Helix and fell in love with it. And for some reason, with everything I've been doing, I haven't revisited it in a while. And this was a real amazing reminder as how amazing an amp model this is and how it sounds so good just by opening it up and almost changing nothing. And that's why I did this. So the default snapshot is just the way that the amp and cab come up by default in the Helix when you call it up. And actually, let me just snapshot enable this here and go back down to 0 on it so that we get exactly, yeah, good. So we hear exactly just as it is with no tone shaping whatsoever. And then the snapshot 2 is Urban, which I switch over to the settings I changed to get more of the tone I was looking for. Okay, so let's take a look at what I did then. First off, I have my LA Studio Comp at the end, typical settings, peak reduction of 5.5, gain of 5, mix at 100%. EQ really used for very little other than the low and high cuts, 100 Hertz and 12 kilohertz respectively. Little dab of plate reverb, a decay of 1.5, pre-delay of 2 milliseconds, and a mix of 32%, just gave it what I wanted, okay? Split crossover, frequency set a little higher than normal at 1 kilohertz. And all I did is I boosted all the frequencies above that by 2 dB, and I didn't touch anything below it. I left the cab just as it comes up when you call up the stock amp cab combination of the Matchstick Channel 2, which is the 212 Match G25 with a 160 ribbon at a distance of 1.5 inches, and I felt no need to change it. It sounded amazing, okay? So here's the default settings of the amp when it comes up. The channel drive is at 2.5, the tone is at 4, cut at 0, presence at 0, master at 10, channel volume at 6.5, and all of the deeper functions just straight across the board at 5. Here's how I changed those. I brought the channel drive up to 6, the tone up until 5, the cut at 0, presence I cranked up to 10 to really get it to cut like Keith's tone does. The master at 10 and the channel volume at 6.5. So very little difference. So let's just go back to the default snapshot here, which is This would be the way the amp sounds just coming up with the stock settings that Line 6 has programmed into it, obviously with the verb, the high and low cut, and the little bit of dynamics processing at the end. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's shut all of that off, and let's just hear what this sounds like. Really nice tone, okay? If I add the reverb, the low and high cuts back in, and the dynamics processor, all right, so it sounds really nice just as it is, but what happens when I switch over to my settings on it? So like I said, channel drive up to 6, tone at 5, presence up to 10. A lot more bite to it, right? It cuts more. Now you'll hear how that works really nicely in the mix and really helps it to cut through. So that was the preset. In the custom tone, like I said, I'm not going to have the default settings. I'll just have this preset the way it is. So, like I said, what I did is I used this in 2 performance videos. I used it with a Fender Mexican Tele to do the You Look Good in My Shirt, all guitar tracks in that. And then I did the Somebody Like You solo with this American Elite with all the guitar tracks using that. No processing after the fact in the mix, okay? But how does this sound, let's say, with humbucker pickups? Well, I'm gonna grab my Yamaha Revstar and we'll give it a listen, okay? See how that sounds. Be right back. So here I am back with the Yamaha Revstar guitar. And we'll see how it sounds with the same settings on the urban settings I have with the humbucking pickup. Darker, as is to be expected, but sounds really nice and smooth and creamy. Now if I engage the dry switch, which kind of gives it more of a single coil quality, back to the humbucker. So I think we can see it translates really nice to the different guitars, as to be expected, a little bit darker with the humbucking pickups. What do you guys think? This really quickly became one of my favorite tones. It did not take me long to dial it in, but man, I really liked it. I was playing it through my power cab and it was sounding absolutely fabulous, and it worked really well in the mix without touching anything. So this, I think, would work real well as an amazing country kind of rhythm lead tone for live, for studio. So it'll be up on Custom Tone. You guys can go grab it, and hopefully you won't have to tweak it too much to, to your guitar and your system. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And go give the performance videos a listen, like them, share them if you don't mind. I always appreciate that support. And let me know what you think of the tones in the mix, all right? In those, what you're hearing is 2 rhythm guitars on each pan, left and right, and then the lead. like I said, a couple acoustic guitars, the Yamaha Silent guitars, doubled and panned out somewhat left and right as well. So hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and the performance videos, and I hope you enjoy the tone. Thanks so much for tuning in and giving me your time. Appreciate it. Please like the video, share them if you don't mind. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be back soon with some more content. And don't forget to go check out my stuff. I do have a few preset packs for sale on Marketplace. And if you guys want to grab those, it helps me to keep doing what I'm doing and, you know, support me in that way. So I really appreciate, they've been doing quite well, and I appreciate everybody's support with that as well. So I'll be back soon, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and ciao for now.